All
Hello.
right. Okay, can you tell us a bit about the Queensland testing that's about to start, when it starts, and what you guys will be able to analyze?
Awesome. So we are back on for our research testing and implementation of Roid Check, starting this Friday, literally, July 18th at Quinn Bowen Hills, which is the checkpoint site. Even though checkpoint is closed down, we're still doing Roid Check. So it's a 2 hour pop-up between 12 and 2. Basically, all people need to do is roll in to Bowen Hills and drop off their steroids. We're not doing anything on site anymore. Myself and the chemist Ian are just there grabbing everything, logging, bagging it, and then it goes off to the labs, which I think will make a speedier process for people like coming through. It'll be really, really quick. Won't be just come and drop off. I'll ask you a couple questions. You can talk to me about things, steroid related
Essentially, it's like a
things.
drop off point.
Yeah,
Yep.
basically. And then we'll be doing Gold Coast the following week, so July 25th. Same deal, Quinn Burley, the previous checkpoint site, um, on the 25th from 12 till 2. And then we'll have another pop up in August. So same sort of deal in Brisbane on the 15th, and then in Gold Coast on the 22nd. And I'll just keep pushing those dates out as we, do each month.
There's going to be
And
ongoing dates for drop-offs.
yeah,
Yep. Cool. And when do people get their results back?
look, so we're trying to speed things up. I think in the first sort of block we had Cyclone, and then we had obviously checkpoint shut down. So we had all of that happening. But anywhere between about 4 to 8 weeks is the goal,
Yep.
for future waves. We also had an overwhelming response. Like some people were bringing in like 30 samples each, which I love. But we're just dropping the caps to 10 samples per person at the moment,
Okay.
um, for
Yep.
these pop-ups, just because otherwise, number one, it takes a long time. Number
But they can bring in
two,
like the next 10 on a subsequent one, can't they?
yeah,
And just
yeah,
keep bringing in 10 each time.
yeah.
Yep.
Would encourage like just picking and choosing, the ones that you actually want to test. So, bring in don't bring in three from the same lab, from the same like
Same
purchase
batch
batch,
sort of
right?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like bring in, one you bought in January, one you bought in June, and one you bought in December of that year. Um,
Yeah.
or, different types like and yeah, if you can bring in less is probably better to like leave other people the opportunity to be able to get their stuff tested and get it done in a timely manner. We had a lab closure as well in July that was unforeseen, so that caused some issues. So there's still about 30 or 40 samples in the backlog, that are going to make up wave five, and that's still from that first chunk of the year.
Yeah.
And then anything brought in, I guess, from this Friday onwards is probably going to be either probably wave six, to be honest. And we'll try and put out another one or two before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
So
yeah.
anyone who I would, that may go, oh, it's not fast enough and rah, rah, why isn't it open all the time? Have to
Mm,
realize that this is research. Like these samples are going towards research. It's not like a commercial service, like a commercial lab. This is specifically for research and certain there has to be done a certain way to collect enough data to be able to justify it continuing. So, as annoying as it might be to wait for your results, it is definitely still worth doing. And that's just how it has to be right now.
yeah, and look, I mean, I fully sympathize and empathize with everyone. It's annoying having to wait. I think that will keep getting shorter and more streamlined, like as the research program continues to grow and keep assimilating more and more funding, and a larger team. and more contributors as I keep doing. I think you know, that's part of the beauty of all of this. I think the other like cool thing about steroid testing is that it doesn't matter if you get individual results that you've actually had or not. We get a snapshot of the market each time we put out a wave. It is literally like this little snapshot in time of like what's happening.
Yep.
That is. I would, hazard a guess at slightly representative of what's going out, what's going on more broadly. We pick up on, what's actually there, what's available, what people are using, a general, sort of count on presence and purity.
Yep.
And so I think it's really good in that respect. And so even, you know, if people aren't testing each time, at least, really grateful for the people that bring stuff in because I think it informs broader harm reduction, and
Yep.
health enhancement practice anyway, to be
Yep.
perfectly honest.
Very valuable data, that's for sure.
And, just gonna shamelessly plug, please do my surveys.
Yes, the surveys
I'm
are crucial, absolutely
I
crucial.
I need to be able to demonstrate that there's a engagement and a responsiveness, and not just that, need to be able to demonstrate that the results do feed into, people's decision making process, whatever that is.
Yep. If you
And
don't have
the
the proof that this is helping people, it won't be able to continue. And the surveys are what provide the proof. So really want everybody who uses, the results, looks at the results to do the survey.
Yeah, and now I guess the advantage is this year that, trying to look at linking data through codes and things like that. So being able to follow
Yep.
people up a long time, whether, you've dropped in wave four, for example, whether you've dropped in just in general. Next survey I put out, I'll say, have you dropped in wave four or wave five? And so trying to keep, I guess, solidarity in terms of confidentiality and data
Yep.
sovereignty and not, compromising anyone. So keeping it very, very much anonymous,
Yep.
but trying to get a feel for, okay, if someone dropped in and, wave four and wave five and got individual results, how did that affect their decisions versus someone who just looked at the results versus someone who, has dropped in wave three, but then followed along with four and five. I think it's really, really interesting, and it's can provide some. It's an example of good science, I guess, and good translational research.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if you saw those heat maps I posted yesterday. I think, being able to look at data visualization in different ways when people keep doing the research and sort of monitor harms over time, or being
Yep.
able to start to piece apart, that these are, once you start using over a gram total androgens, like these are the harms that you're probably exposed to, but not these ones.
Yep.
Psychosocial harms more influenced by compounds. Like the research doesn't just, it's not just about roid check in and of itself. Like there's all these other cool little things that we can do by taking measures over time. So it's all
Yep.
really, really helpful and it's really, really important. And has the added benefit of, like there's Roid Check as a program, but then there's, Steroid Connect, which Sonia works with me on. And
Yes.
then I've got, we got our ongoing research, but then I've got about a billion other ideas and other, irons in the fire where I'm either waiting for funding or trying to apply for funding to build out other and similar bigger programs. So
Yep.
you might have seen the Safer Injecting Resources endorsed by Queensland Health through Insight
Yep.
recently. Got a whole plan around or the latest video where there's me with my ass out on a what looks like a sus couch. Like all that sort of stuff, is built out of, good data that follows from good programs that
Yep.
serve the community and
Yep.
really actually use funding to provide better resourcing and better, I guess, information so that people can make choices, right?
Yep. Exactly. We're hoping to do more stuff on contaminants. We want to do more studies on that. We want to do some on bacteria. So vials that haven't been opened, how many of them have bacteria, and vials that have been opened, how many have they got, and just see the difference. It's like how often are people actually causing their own vials to become contaminated? That's something we want to work on next year. That's going to cost a bomb. It's very
Mm.
expensive to do. And we also want to start looking at contaminants and peptides, start doing some analysis on those as well. So they're things that we have down the track that we're going to get into as well. I also want to mention if anyone wants to see all of the results that Checkpoint have done so far, Wave 3 has everything from the start up to Wave 3, and then you've got Wave 4. So they're two different reports. You can get them off the Quinn website. And we
Uh,
all,
yeah.
yep,
High Ground has a, I think
high
Quiver's got
ground,
a
sorry,
Quinn. Yeah, probably High Ground has
high
all of
ground.
them in like a nice little list.
Yep. And I've also got links to them on the Pedtest Instagram. If you go into the save stories of lab results, it's got links to all of those. So you can kind of get through to it quick to the website and download them. Yeah, just want to make sure that everyone's able to access them and then do the survey. There'll be the link in that report that you click on to do the survey. It's very, very important. Also, what else can you guys analyze? So you can analyze pretty much anything.
So I can do estrogen and progesterone. I've standards for that now.
Ooh,
We are building up our life, so I've got to do another big standard purchase soon.
yep.
And obviously, recently we got Primo, which I was really happy about. I think I'm still waiting on a Boldenone standard.
So the
Um,
idea is that you can analyze all of these, but in order to be able to tell you the personal concentration, you have to have a reference standard to be able to calculate that.
yeah,
So
so
you
pure
can,
drug.
yeah, the pure pharmaceutical version of that drug in an exact amount to be able to calibrate your instrument to be able to do it. So you could get, like, if somebody was to take in, EQ, for example, you'd only be able to tell them, yes, there is EQ present or not. And it's not till you have the standard that you'd be able to tell them exactly how many milligrams per mil it is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So
So
I think we built up the library over the last year and a half ish to be pretty decent. But then you've got to buy them up as
yeah,
you run through them.
yeah,
And yeah, some of them are pretty expensive. So for example, don't have a super droll standard yet.
yeah,
Um, I don't think I have a Ment standard yet, or like a check drop standard. But
yeah. So there's a few that you
yeah.
still, yeah, be able to get there eventually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, just building up over time.
yeah. And the more of those particular samples get brought in, the more you can justify buying that standard too.
Correct. Like I can't, if we've only had one sample of Ment, and I think that's the case, or
Yeah,
very like a small handful, it's harder for me to push for that. Whereas with methanolone, so primobolan, we had so many of those, and it was a very expensive standard to buy. As
yeah,
people probably know, the Primo's expensive. But just having so many there meant that I could go,
yeah,
look, this is critical.
yep.
Got to do
Cool.
it. Yeah.
Um, a good thing for people to keep in mind if they're going to bring samples into you is to take a photo of the vial or the container that it's from. If they're going to bring it in like a little sample vial, for example, because we sell sample
Oh,
vials online or
yeah,
whatever. But
on
if
this.
yeah, keep a photo of the vial or the brand because there are so many brand names that are really, really similar that you might go, oh, it's, Alpha Pharma, but it's actually Alpha Labs, or it could be Alpha Anabolics, or there's 6 million types of the same names out there. So having a photo so that you guys know exactly which one it is a really good idea.
And so on that, we take a photo of whatever's handed in. I have a whole library there that I can go through, as you saw with a recent
Yep.
announcement I did, that I can, yeah, scroll through cross-reference at any time. They are huge, like high-resolution photos. So it's like 5 MB. If I posted every single photo with every single report, each report
No,
would be
it would be
literally,
ridiculous.
yeah, it would be
Yeah.
huge. I
Yep.
can't do it. So, but take everything on face value as soon as people bring it in. But for example, like, I mean, for this Friday or anything coming up, like if people want to bring in the original vial, like that's awesome.
Yep.
And drop everything into a separate vial, give us the original one with the original packaging.
Yep.
Um, no Ziploc bag oils. That stuff is horrible.
Yeah, no.
Full tablets, like need to give us a full tablet so that we can get the tablet weight and then
Yep.
apply the formula
Yeah.
across the product. What else? I mean, more oil is
How
better,
much
but
do you need? Like, what's the amount you
we
prefer to have?
we just need the residue, but the more oil that I have and store up in the fridges means I'm able to do start to stock up for like other analysis. So for example, for like ICP-MS, like the heavy metals,
Yeah.
I have
To do
access to a
heavy
piece of
metals, you
equipment.
need like a fair bit.
Yeah, a couple mils is good.
Yeah.
So if anyone can spare it of something that they have a little bit more of, like I'll gladly take it, and
Yeah.
just goes in a fridge that has my name on it and is basically like a storage fridge for the project. Sits there. And then yeah, for other stuff, like for example, we're running a degradation study at the moment. I've got a bunch of different oils sitting in different conditions around the lab, slowly getting exposed
Oh, cool.
to
That's good.
different environmental conditions, and we're looking at what happens to those oils over time.
Yep.
Uh, but we've got an expiry date theoretical, as given to us. We've got, a potential batch production date. And so yeah, just are seeing what
Oh,
happens. We've got the presence and the
awesome.
purity, obviously. So we're just watching, taking measures and seeing what happens over time.
Yep.
But same thing goes for, yeah, any spares, like we don't waste anything, basically.
Yeah.
Like I try and
Yeah.
use every part of everything that I have. But strictly speaking, sorry, it was a really long walk for a short glass of water. Uh, just need the residue for the presence and the purity.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
if you
cool.
give me more, I've always got something to do
You can
with it.
do something else with it. Yeah, exactly. Also, the Victorian testing is coming up. So that's going to be in August that starts.
Look, uh, yeah, so fixed site happening in Victoria, very exciting. Steroid checking trial is looking like it will be part of it. I can say that I think there'll be a bit of a delay, just because I'm waiting on a few other things to come through. I think there'll be a number of steroids that we can test straight up, but it's a different piece of equipment than what we have in Queensland. So we're using paper spray, military grade paper spray, mass spec, and so the idea is that essentially we have to break down the product, spray it onto the paper, and insert it into the machine. Is a really, I guess, straightforward way of imagining it. But same thing as Queensland. What I'll need people to do when it's time, and I'll make some announcements and noise about this, is to bring in steroids again. We'll run a little trial like we did up here, and then I think we've seen that myself, TheLoop, Australia, and all other partners can deliver. Each time we do this, we'll run a trial, a pilot, and then if the pilot's successful and we get community buy-in, we can move to a similar mode of delivery as what we've had up here. So very, very
Wait.
exciting. So sometime
Okay.
around August, September this year, I'm pretty confident. But keep an eye on socials and keep watching, and
Yeah.
yeah, very, very exciting.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, at least that's coming up. That's good. Yee. And then we've got the paper we did on heavy metals is coming out soon, which is exciting.
Next week,
Um,
super
yeah,
exciting.
really excited about that. That's really cool. So that kind of helps, hopefully, us to be able to do more in the future. I want to do a lot more work on that because that paper only covers the heavy metals in the samples. It actually doesn't discuss all the rest of the stuff that we found in there, all the other contaminants. So there is more work to be done on that stuff.
Yeah, and I think just hammering home, like even so in this paper and obviously under embargo at the moment, but which Ali is lead author on. Congratulations on your first pub. In Drug and Alcohol Review, fantastic journal. I think, we found high, like in some of those, yeah, like per single dose, like there's not enough lead in there to kill you or, even
Mm,
potentially cause you harm. But if you're taking, multiple doses a day, even then you're outside of your permissible daily exposure limits as defined
yeah.
by our therapeutic guidelines. And so, once you, especially for some people who are dosing a lot higher, you're
Or
exposing
stacking
yourself
as
to,
well.
yeah, or if you're using multiple different compounds, you're exposing yourself to, the some of this stuff, mercury, for example, it's not coming back out. So
Yeah.
it's in there for
Can
good.
accumulate
Um,
over time. Yeah.
and so chronic disease is cancer, metastatic growth like that are, fully something that we should be aware of, but haven't necessarily been, touched on in the
Yeah.
literature or in just general discussions. So I think this does a really good job of putting that out into, the forefront and for people to start thinking about, okay, yeah, maybe your product's underdosed or overdosed, or, you got a different compound in there, but have you ever thought about how maybe because you're using, 20 mils a week, you might be starting to accumulate over a number of years, a
Yeah.
particular amount of other um, heavy
Other
metals in
nasties.
your system. So, and that could definitely put strain on kidneys, strain on the liver, development of plaque, and then the compounding effect of that, plus any other health issues you're going to have from high androgen load over time,
Yeah.
um, could start to put you at risk of, other issues, so cardiomyopathies, so on and so forth, which
Yep.
all ultimately impact your gains and impact what you want to do. Like you cannot be big if you're dying. You generally can't get big if you have, horrendous cancerous growths to have cut out. Can't get big if you have an infection and you're getting that cut out of your glute. Can't lift
Yeah.
big if your, kidneys EGFR drops under, 30. Like these are like both like super practical issues, but like also longevity issues
Yeah.
that we need to start sort of concerning ourselves and thinking about and, raising awareness around. And then,
Yep.
ultimately, how do we combat this? Well, it's regulated products that are accessible to everyone, at
Yep.
least at some level. So either A, moving towards safe supply of steroids, and moving towards a more open legalization framework, or looking to decriminalize, but then have some sort of community testing protocol where we
Yep.
can all keep each other safe. Um,
Another point on that as well is if people can, if they can bring raws in to get analyzed with
yeah,
you
keen
guys,
as. Yeah,
bring raws
give me the
in.
powders.
Really,
Yes.
really, really, really cool to be able to do the raws. Because if you're going to find any of these contaminants, to be able to get them at higher concentration, you're more likely to see them during analysis. So if you can bring in the raws, and especially if you have any left over, that, a bit extra so that you guys would be able to do some more work on it, maybe some heavy metals and stuff, that would be absolutely phenomenal.
And I think it makes a really cool, like, again, it's about having that snapshot. There's only so many raws that are around the place,
Yeah.
that are coming through and that people are having supply.
There's only so many
Okay.
manufacturers in China.
And so, if we get a decent amount of powders in, we can get a good read on what's floating around. And
Yep.
then, well, if the raws are, subpar, then generally, we can make inferences about the tools that, our community's working with when making
Yep.
these products. And, if people are being provided with subpar tools, the product is also going to be subpar. It's not necessarily, any one person's fault. It's a whole chain of systems
Yep.
that affect everyone all the way through
Yep,
to the end.
exactly. Cool. All right. Well, otherwise, we've got our growth hormone kit in development with a biotech company in Europe. That's
Oh,
coming out. It's really cool. It's passed the first few rounds of accuracy testing. These particular kits are going to be certified in the EU as medical devices. So they are top quality, certified, accurate. And they will be the first of this type to have been made worldwide. So we're getting that done. So they've done all the accuracy on legitimate growth hormone on all the other types of compounds that it could be faked with. And we've sent over a selection of donated growth hormone samples. Some of them are good, we know some of them aren't. So that's going to do a round of accuracy testing on underground products. Once it passes all of those, then fingers crossed, it'll be ready for manufacture in September. That's the latest we've heard from them, which is really exciting. So keep posted for that. It's going to be really, really, really cool. First
mm,
worldwide type of that thing. And they're going to do a whole bunch of other kits on peptides for us in a similar way. They will also all be certified. So yeah, keep posted.
exciting.
Very exciting.
Uh, Yeah, no, we are struggling with the GH and peptide development. Number one, because we haven't been getting too many samples in, so it's hard to push. So reminding
Yeah.
everyone, still bring me a spare GH. I'm working on it. It is
Yep.
a different
You
piece of
got some to
equipment,
spare,
and
bring it in and you guys will keep it for when you can analyze it.
uh, and then newsletter.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hyphen
Yeah,
Health, we're working with them. You're working with them as well to do a newsletter for the community.
yeah. So just I guess Pedtest and Hyphen Health, Royd Safe are doing a joint newsletter. We'll have like expert pieces in there. We'll invite people on to contribute and do some written work. And I think there'll be other bits and pieces of basically free guidance, free advice, which will be good.
Cool. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
I don't think so. I think I've talked enough. Talked a lot, rambled a lot.
That's all good. All right. Well, thanks for having a chat.
No, thanks for having me.
All right. We'll talk probably next week when the paper comes out, I reckon.
Yeah, sweet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Ali.